Hello and welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury. Oz is behind the camera. We've got a new lighting setup. Woo! And I've been instructed by the powers that be that I should tell you about the Nord Lead A1. I've had an hour with it, and this is what I've learned. This is the first patch when I turned it on. Hey. Oh yeah. Standard Poly Synth Fair. Interestingly priced at the moment between a Juno X and an Akai MPC 61. Nestled in there is the Nord Lead A1. Been out for a long time. I did a video many moons ago, but still rocking and still selling them. What have I learned in the last hour? Let's see if I can tell you, Oz, and you behind the camera, because Oz, I'm swaying you with the red keyboards. He was like, does this do bass? And we'll find out. We'll see if it does bass. One thing to mention is in this mode, which is performance mode, hey, there are essentially 4 of the same synth here that I can layer, A, B, C, and D. So if I tick off the light in performance mode, we're hearing one program. And then when we're in performance mode, we can stack 4 of those. So very powerful in terms of multi-timbrality, and each one will respond to MIDI. So they sold a little desktop version of this, which I haven't seen personally. I can see a lot of people wanting that. If you've got a sequencer that sends out MIDI information and you don't want the keyboard, you could buy the rack version. But even this is super compact, super sturdy metal, even saves size without the normal wooden end cheek fare. So very small and portable, repeating myself, but with that multi-timbrality, heavy stuff. Shift in it, and I've initialized the whole performance. In it patch. From the get-go, what's innovative is that in the oscillator section, yes, we can see our traditional waveforms here, sine, triangle, saw, and square, but the magic of this bad boy is that when we go above there, we start getting A1. Like, what's that? Nord Lead A1? Hey, it's these extended analog waves. So let's have a listen to a saw wave, and then go up to A1. It's a mixture here, but it's in conjunction with this oscillator configuration below it, where it says pitch at the moment, so pitch, and it's all very clearly on here, osc config, pitch. So let's go to shape, and then we can turn this and hear this. So I'm moving through A1. Let's go to a more interesting waveform. We look down here, like A3. So it's like a humpy thing into a less humpy thing. And we can start getting that moving with the LFO, which is already pre-programmed in. Or we could turn that off or use just a single shot envelope here. And we'll keep going through. If it was a wavetable, we'd be scanning through that wavetable there. But I find that pretty cool. That's just with the shape. If I flick it back to pitch, you'll hear it go all wibbly wobbly. So that's cool. We got pitch, oscillator sync, classic. So think processes like that, syncing oscillators, changing the pitch, that takes a bit of knowledge. It takes up more real estate because you need multiples of those knobs. As I understand it, it was an evolution of how successful the synthesizer section was from the Nord Stage 2. And I was using that keyboard, loved it, I'm a big Nord stage user, and I can attest to the fact that sometimes when someone says, "Yeah, I want like a detuned saw pad," instead of having to all of that out and about, we could just do that now. So we'll go to a saw wave. I can go across to here, detune, and then filter it down. A bit more decay. So there we have, we've just made that. Instead of having to find two saw waves, detune them, super quick. And I like the fact that it's written out here, it's not too crazy. So we've got a pretty standard polysynth sound there. Oh yeah, say I want to just fatten it up. Instead of, again, looking to lots of individual oscillator controls, there's a unison button here, so check it out. No unison. So that's multiplied our oscillators exponentially, and we've got that kind of fatness. No unison. But say I do want fatness. I'm only using one of my synths at the moment. I've got a whole 3 other synths. So I could copy and paste to C, and now when I go to C, if I use the pitch thing here, put that up 12, then, and we can double tap it just to hear it in solo. Double tap this, layered. See how hands-on and dope that is? That's cool. And then up here, I remember I was like, oh cool, I can go to C, pan that, and then go to A, pan that. Again, solo it. Let's get some unison on that bad boy. And then go back to this one. Comboed. I dig that. Oz said about some bass. Now I've got C and D over here. Let's put a bass in the left hand, see if that's possible. If I hold down the program and turn it, I can flick through the program presets, not the performance which is pretty cool. Cool. Nice big bass sound there. If I tap all 3, now they're all on together. But I want that just to be in the left hand. Shift, split. It did it! See, it stops off at C there. Actually, if I go shift, split, and then a bit more, do I get more? Yeah, up to C. Cool. Now when I put them all back on, so let's do that thing I did at the beginning. Let's make these a bit spicier. Let's go to C and D. Here's another thing I learned, is next to shift is multi-focus. So I want to shift multi-focus. They're flashing now, and I want to put reverb on both of them. Select a reverb. Cool. And then put them all back on. Pretty cool. So we built that up. The other mad thing about Nord stuff is we've got a 3-part patch there. Bass in the left, poly synths in the right. We can morph things. So yes, it might be limited in terms of LFO numbers and amp envelope, like envelope numbers, but we have this morph over here, so we can get the wheel doing stuff. Let's show you what I mean. Anything with a light next to it can be morphed and moved with a wheel, pedal, or velocity. Let's go to these 2. And we'll go multi-focus. and I'm going to put the frequency of the filter down, but hold wheel and turn it up to maximum. So that means hopefully now when I play, this wheel is down at the moment and it'll go up to the maximum filter. And I put that on with the bass. Other things we can put on morph, just because that sounds a bit lame to me, is I could turn on these two again. I tap these two, get them together. Multi-focus. Yes! I want to put on a delay and I want to hear it. I want to ping pong it, shift to ping pong. And I want the amount to go from 0 on the wheel to about halfway. And then here you'll hear that the filter's opening up and the delay. So you're getting the idea. We could get crazy things happening and lots of subtlety with 4 synths, all of those assigning to them more functionalities. That's pretty cool. Now, something that I've never seen on a Nord before, which is stop the presses, is this thing called Mutate Sound and Randomise Sound. I'm going to actually move away from this patch. We'll find something else here in the presets. So I can see the wheel and the velocity are mapped to certain things. If I hold wheel and mutate sound, it will use almost like early AI to suggest different, it's just assign different things to this without me knowing it. So that's that one. Hold it again, mutate. You know, so I dig that. I find that's very interesting. So if I go shift init sound and we kill those other ones, so we just have one program going. And then I go wheel mutate. It randomly generated that for me from an initial patch. Again, mutate. So that's interesting. If you're like, oh God, I've made a sound, I'm kind of stuck for ideas. That's a derivative randomized bit, but we can go further. I can go wheel randomized sound and that'll do another one. Sorry, Oz. So crazy stuff, right? Now you can just not holding that, I can go shift randomize sound and I'm getting full random. Shift random. I've seen it featured a few times on chord keyboards where you'll see a little dice symbol or there'll be a randomized parameters, but fully, I should have started with the video with that really, basically. Just turn it on, shift, randomized sound, weird wave noises. There we go. That's cool. Other innovative things in Nordland that I haven't seen them carry on was this idea of a like button. So if I go through and I go, okay, I like that, and I filter it down. And I'm like, I'm kind of working on that. On other Nord keyboards, there's often, on the stages, they have a live memory, which is essentially an auto-save place for your patches. So if you can use it as, it'll always save itself, you'll have a number of sounds there, and that's what this like feature is like. You've got 50 patches in there, but they reset with the power cycling. So in a session, say you were just making sounds and you've got a bit of ADHD, you might want to flitter around different patches and not have to worry about saving them and just leaving. So we've got to this patch. Let's make it weirder by putting a bit more drive on it. It's got a thumbs up, and I go shift, like, and that saved it into like 3 because I've had this keyboard on and I figured out this only a few minutes ago. So that's like 3. I don't need to worry. Let's go back to that patch. That's how it started out. But if I go to my like patches, there was my edited one. Do you see what I mean? And I've got 50 of those. That's just really cool. Anytime if you think, I like that, but I'm not committed to saving it, you just go shift, like, and it puts it into one of these. And if you turn it off, so be it. You've lost all those special 3 patches. Hey, I won't carry on too much because they're the big headline features. This idea of oscillators or multiple oscillators being grouped into configurations. Lots of very well thought out pre-connected connections in there, along with mutation, randomization, liking. The one thing is this keypad is really nice, and I love the form. It's one of the rare 49 key keyboards that I think suits the form. It just seems proper. There's just no aftertouch on it, which would have been nice. Can I get over it? Yes, I can. Because a lot of the time in live environments, I don't want that aftertouch, that subtlety perhaps. But that's just me. You still got the same great handmade wooden pitch stick, hand finished granite modulation wheel, solid metal. These things are built like a tank. I won't go too much further into it. Thanks Oz for being here. Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to do any more. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. If you don't, let us know. We learn from the hate. And yeah, let us know what other keyboards at this price range would you go for over this if it wasn't the Nord Lead A1. I'll see you soon.